You can see my screen. So today we'll finish up the complete introduction for SAP S4HANA, S4HANA Finance, and what is Fieri, and what are the different types of applications available within Fieri.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we'll finish that part.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to the introduction, we have seen yesterday that SAP S4HANA has multiple modules, and SAP Finance is one among them. And we have S4HANA Finance, S4HANA Controlling. Predominantly, FICO consultant will be dealing these two modules. And there are several other modules like we have Central Finance. But Central Finance is newly introduced. It is a separate system. It is also a S4HANA system. So there is a separate system which can integrate the data from both SAP and non-SAP systems.
Okay.
Basically, every enterprise organization will have a lot of systems, and they keep on acquiring some companies. There'll be some third-party company. There will be some third-party software which will be used as part of their ERP management. When you're doing business operations in more than some 80, 90 or 60 plus countries, obviously there in many countries you'll buy one small companies which will add to your manufacturing plant or improve your market share coming to the distribution plant or whatever it might be. Reasons might be multiple, but you keep on acquiring them. And then
Okay.
the financial consolidation is going to be a big issue that time. So at the country level, you need to consolidate the data, and as well as at the group level, you need to report the data. So SAP has come up with a solution for it. So they have come up with something called Central Finance System, which only deals with finance model. It's called
Okay.
CFIN system. So it will only deal with finance area. So you might be wondering, then what about the other areas? So normally any system, first the basic things are FI, SD, ML. These are the three modules you need at least do some ERP activity within the organization. Now, FI, yes, assuming this is from SAP system, and similarly from a non-SAP system also we will have all these modules, right? So be it any third-party application, non-SAP system, we'll have finance, we'll have SD, we'll have ML. So what we will do as part of central finance is we will replicate the accounting documents. So whatever we post in SAP, all in finance we keep posting journal entries, right? Replicate all the finance documents into a central system called CFIN system. Okay. So there we will replicate all the finance documents. So once you have all the finance documents, be it related to customer or vendor, if it asks for payment, then immediately you will make the payment. And if you want to receive the payments from customers, you keep receiving. All the activities related to the payments and receivables and everything will be handled from finance system. Got me?
Okay.
So that's about this CFIN system. And what are some of the other modules are like treasury system. So what is the role of a treasurer in an organization? Ahmed,
Yes.
what is the role of a treasurer in an organization?
I have not idea about
No,
that.
no, no. Just I'm
Just
asking in general. In general, you might have heard the word treasurer from many,
yeah, the
so many a
treasurer
times.
has a yeah,
For a small company, the accounts will be managed by accounts department. But for a large trust, large organization which is very hefty, so they will be in a confused state how to store my wealth of the organization, right?
the surplus.
Yeah, that surplus. Should I store some value in bonds? Should I store some value in gold? Should I store some value in commodities? Should I invest in some third party companies? Whatever treasury you have in your organization, like when we take the big organizations, they keep investing in third party companies or multiple, they will have some reserves, and depending upon the exchange rates and bond values or whatever which is good for investment, they keep investing, and whatever is required for the day-to-day operations, the wealth will be very small, right? Like for example, your company costs somewhere around $100 billion
Okay.
or $50 billion or $10 billion company. So
Mm-hmm.
apart from this, max to max, your operating cost will be 15% or 20% of it, right? It's not the
Mm-hmm.
complete wealth you will be using for operating costs. So that 20%, how to invest wisely and how to do it. So that out of the 100% of the wealth you have, 15 to 20% only you use for your day-to-day operational activity. So this you will keep in liquid, and that is a decision of the treasurer to hold the currency, to hold the amount in which currency. He can hold it in US dollars, he can hold it in uh, pounds, he can hold it in different currencies. Every
Okay.
currency he can hold some value, right? So in which currency, if he hold, it will be an advantage to the company. That is all part of treasury system. So that is again a different world altogether. Which looks like finance, but actually you don't do any finance activity. You do all wealth management kind of stuff.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's a kind of investment and wealth management.
Yeah, basically you are a treasury. You will make the decision how to hold the assets of the company in your
Yeah,
company. Okay.
save the funds, investment the fund, and the create the wealth.
Yes. So that will an add and value. And if I make the payment and in a day, suppose if I am asked to pay today somewhere around some 30 crores across the world, they will see what is the best time in a day where they will lose rate. Accordingly, they will make the payment. So many things will come up. So that is a different story. So that whom to pay, when to pay, that details needs to be sent from finance team.
Okay.
Okay, this is something about treasury system, because when you work in the projects tomorrow, so sometimes there will be the role of the treasury system. When you want to
Mm-hmm.
make the payment to your vendor, so you will purchase the raw materials. The purchase order starts in the MM module. From
Mm-hmm.
MM module, once goods are received, everything you need to pay to the vendor. Vendor will send us an invoice. That
Okay.
vendor invoice will be replicated to finance module, because just for recording entry purpose, how much amount we are going to pay against the vendor, in finance module you will have the details, and every invoice will have a due date. It's not that as soon as the vendor invoice, you need not immediately make the payment,
Right.
right? You will have some agreement with him saying that you can pay after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. It changes from person to person, and from the vendor to vendor, we will have some the separate agreement, and accordingly you will issue the you will process the data from your end, and with that vendor we might have some 100 or 60 or 70 or 90 invoices, already outstanding invoices which are due for payment. So that whatever is due for payment, only that we will send the details to treasury system. Sometimes we will make the payment directly. For example, in the case of European region, we have something called a SEPA direct debit. So
Okay.
Europe is one specific case where all the companies are under the one shell, European Union Council. There we have
Mm-hmm.
some additional features and additional payments for faster business, and for the easier way of doing business. What they have done is they have the provision of directly deducting the money from the vendors or your
Okay.
partner. Okay, you can directly deduct the money from your partner if you activate SEPA direct payment. So
Okay.
usually that will be activated in most of the European countries. So that is a separate type of payment. It is like our EMI transaction. If you have to supposedly pay a EMI transaction, the bank will auto deduct, right?
Right. And in the most of the case in uh, in house or auto pay, you can say that our
Yeah,
bill
you can
is
say auto pay. Yes.
uh, once you click on the auto pay, they will automatically direct, or they are recurring nature payments
Yes.
kind of things. So it's depend on the an agreement, right?
Yes. Similarly, we have the SEPA direct payment one, like our check payment and bank transfer. This is one SEPA direct debit where you can directly debit from the vendor.
Yeah.
So that access, if the person gives to your organization, you can immediately deduct the amount from his account without asking him. That's a beautiful thing, and you just have to update him what is detected. So you will just send an advice to him. So all that activities will be handled in finance, and rest all details. So either you can directly transfer to the bank or you send to the treasury system. If it is transferring between one system to another system, if both are SAP systems, it will transfer the data in the form of IDOCs.
In the form
Okay,
of
IDOCs.
okay.
Okay, so this IDOC can be of
Can you write down
any.
the word on
Yes,
the
yeah,
screen?
sure. I'm writing it.
It's a new word for me.
Okay, they are called SAP IDOC. IDOC means it is nothing but intermediate document. Okay, I'm just here giving introduction. I'm not going into the details about anything. How there
Shan,
will be different modules. Yeah.
do we get, going to get any kind of pre-printed or pre-material kind of thing so we can, so I can, assume that what I'm going to study. So,
Yes, you will get it, but you will get it after the payment is done. I was informed that you are to make the payment.
okay. So,
Yeah, you will get it. You will get it in parts. Okay,
so
you'll get it
this
in
is
parts. Yeah.
what we are here. This is demo classes or what?
No. This is not the demo. This is my first class. I'm continuing with the first session. Demo is done right yesterday.
Okay. So,
So here I am giving the introduction about what are the different areas where finance system will be interacting with the other systems right now.
okay.
I'm just giving you
Mm-hmm.
introduction. See, I have to slowly take you into the world of SAP, right? If I
Mm-hmm.
directly start with the configuration, there is no point. You will just see what is the point, why I am doing this. You will have a question. So
Okay.
what I'm showing first step is your SAP finance module. How is it interacting with treasury system? How is it interacting with the bank? How is it will interact with other non-SAP systems? Suppose if you want to, suppose your company for you are having employee expenses. It is a very common thing that every organization will issue some cards to their employees. In the old days, what they used to do is, if you are going on travel for on an official visit, what companies used to say is, we'll give you some cash in pre-hand, that is some 10,000 or some $5,000. Once you go back, you go to the vacation, you finish the official trip, and then come back with all the bills that you spent for
Okay.
accounting purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Companies used to ask, right? They used to ask, submit all your bills and apply for reimbursement if there is any, and if there is any remaining cash, you need to submit it to the accounts department. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
tedious process for everyone, right? So what they have
Right.
introduced recently, they have come up with something called card system. Directly, whoever is going to on an official trip to any place, companies
Mm-hmm.
are giving them a travel card
Right.
preloaded. There will be a limit for depending upon your hierarchy in the organization, you will be given that pre-loaded card. So you can just use the expenses wherever you are going on travel visit, where you spend exactly everything will be automated, and it will be by default that bill will be received by your organization.
Okay.
All the details they'll have it handy. They just have
Okay.
to register that expenses, and for that they'll have a proof also, right? The card is digitally recorded. It will digitally record everything.
Of
So they'll
course.
have a
It's
repository
prepaid.
for it. Yeah. So these are some scenarios. I'm just explaining what are the different scenarios that financial accounting role will play. How it will be interconnected with different systems. First,
Okay.
okay,
Go ahead.
getting me? And then, because see, this is a ERP system. You can't work in silos. If I teach in silo a simple configuration is easy. You can see the steps. Configuration is nothing but just settings in the system, right? How to do a particular process. But why you are doing that process if you are not aware, it will not go into your head,
Okay.
right? So that's the only intention. So I'm just creating the SAP world around you now.
Okay.
So where